What's up, everybody? This is Phil Smelser. We're going to do a two-part series the next 2 days. The first day, we're going to talk about being a student athlete and a teammate. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how parents can be good parents to their athlete and to their coaches. I was a high school soccer coach for 10 years and also have some experiences from when I was in high school that I think will help and relate to a lot of kids that are in high school or junior high, that area. That's where we're going to focus things as people that are the kids that are either in junior high or high school where their grades matter as far as playing a sport. So, what I'm going to give you is the ways I think you can be a successful student athlete and the top things you can do to make that happen. The first part of being a good student athlete is to be a student and be a good student. Do your work, don't be lazy. There's no reason that after you have school and you go home after your sport that you don't have time to do homework. You really should have time to do homework. You also have study halls in school and you need to take advantage of that time. As far as kids thinking that, well, I'll just get a scholarship to go to college, that's probably not going to happen. Girls have an 85 to 1 chance of getting a Division I scholarship and a 1 in 3,400 chance of going pro. The boys have a 1 in 100 chance of getting a D1 scholarship and a 1 in 1,900 chance of going pro. Those odds are not good. If you think about the school that you're in, think about how many boys or how many girls are in your class. The likelihood is one of you is going to get a scholarship. If you're in a really large school, you might have more than that. But most schools, you maybe have one kid in each class that's going to get a Division I scholarship. Grades are going to be the first thing recruiters talk to you about. The coach is going to come in. He's going to immediately want to know what your grades are like because you have to clear through the clearinghouse to get a scholarship. And each school has their own academic standards. And if you don't reach those, they're not going to admit you. And if they can't admit you, they're not going to recruit you. So you need to know that as much as your athletic ability helps you, it will only take you so far. You have to be a good student or they can't help you. So like I said, do your homework, use your study halls, pay attention in class, do the little things. You should also get involved in other activities. Just because you're an athlete doesn't mean you go to school, go to your practice, and go home. Get involved in other things. It's really going to help you to widen your social and academic experience. There's really no reason not to do it, so get involved in other activities. I'll give you a story of me. My first 2 years of high school, I really didn't pay attention at all. I didn't really care. I was at school to socialize and then go to practice. I loved sports, and that's all I really thought about. To me, school was about sports. The problem with that was, towards the end of my junior year, the guidance counselor brought me in and asked me if I had any thoughts of college. And I told him, sure, I want to play soccer. And he pretty much sat me down and explained to me that that wasn't going to be possible with the grades that I had. And I really had never thought about it that way. And he told me to end my junior year and through my senior year, I was really, really going to have to do well. And I had never, ever thought that grades really mattered. No one had really told me that. Well, I should take that back because my parents definitely told me that grades were important. But as far as going to school after high school and playing a sport, I didn't know that it was going to be that important. That was just lazy on my part. So let's fast forward a little bit. After my senior year, I have a couple of schools interested in me to play soccer, and they're all Division III, so I'm not looking at a scholarship as far as athletic, but they can help you get money in other ways. So I take a visit to Capital University, and the coach really wants me to come play soccer there. I'm really excited about it. And so we go into admissions, and we're talking about the fact that they'll probably be able to find a way to get me in. Basically, they're going to help me to get me in. But they're not going to be able to give me any money to offset the cost because of my grades. So while they're going to basically stretch things to let me in, they're not going to give me any money. And so we were looking at around $35,000 a year just to play soccer, which didn't make any sense. So basically, I hurt myself from the get-go by not paying attention, not doing my work. And I wasn't a bad test taker in high school. I just didn't do my homework because I didn't care. That homework is the most important thing because you're getting graded on it every single day. So you need to do your homework. You need to take a little bit of time out to study and make sure you're getting good grades. Because if you don't have good grades, you'll be in the same position I was, where you can't get in, or it's going to cost you a lot of money, or you'll end up in humongous debt trying to get in. And you'll regret that. So make sure you're a good student athlete first and foremost. The second thing is you need to be goal-oriented. Set goals both academically and athletically. Put things in front of you that you can obtain. If you're thinking about it academically, if you're a C student, make yourself be a B student. If you're an A student, make sure you don't get a B. Put goals out there that you can obtain, and then go get them. It's really all about your effort level and how you're going to push yourself. Athletically, you should always be setting goals for yourself, your teammates, and your team. And the best way to do those is to have a routine. Make things a habit. If it's, I'm going to push aside 30 minutes to do homework twice a night, do it that way. If it's working on your athletic ability, which with whichever sport you're talking about, do that each night. Work out. Learn the game. There's so many different ways where you can make habits of things and get in a routine. So every night when you go home, try to do the same things. Try to get yourself in a routine where you just start to do it all the time. That'll help you to make yourself a better student and player. You also need to eat right. That's a big part of being goal-oriented because you can't obtain your goals if you're not taking care of your body. So make sure you're not leaving practice and going and getting fast food all the time. Just eat right. Most of the time, you'll be okay. You're still a kid. You're going to eat things that aren't good for you. But try to make sure, for the most part, you're eating good things. Next would be you need to push yourself. A lot of kids these days, they don't really push themselves. They're always looking for somebody to push them. Problem is, that's not how life works. Once you get out of high school, college, and you are in the real world getting a job or playing a sport, you have to push yourself. Someone's not always going to be there to push you. You have to do it. So start now. In high school, the best coaches are going to push you to be better than you think that you can be. That's what good coaches do. But you have to work hard to accomplish the goals that you set and to make yourself better. Another huge thing that you can do as an athlete is don't take summers off. There's no reason to take the summer off. This is your time away from school and probably your time away from your sport, but don't completely turn it off. Make sure that you're going to activities that are available for you, going to camps, just doing little things to make yourself better. If the ultimate goal is to get the scholarship or to play in college, you can't take the summer off because I can guarantee you won't be taking the summer off when you get to college. So it goes back to the routine and the habit. Get yourself ready now. Don't take the summers off. Stay in shape. Put in work. The next thing is one of the most important things, and that's to be a great teammate. You have to be a good teammate. Nobody wants a bad teammate. You need to be happy when your teammates succeed. Just because you don't score the goal and someone else does, doesn't mean you shouldn't be happy for them, even if there was a chance that you thought you should have scored the goal. That doesn't matter. Be happy for your teammates. Be happy for your coaches. Be happy for your team. You also need to be there to help push your teammates. Encourage them. You have to take the steps to help your teammates, and then they'll help you as well. Don't ever badmouth your teammates or coaches to anyone. If you have an issue, go to the coach and talk to them. If you have an issue with a player, go to the coach, tell them what's going on, see if they can bring you together, and you can talk about it. If you badmouth someone, a coach or a player, it's going to get around, it's going to come back to you, and you're going to create drama. And there's no reason for that, no point to that. So if you have issues, don't take it out with other people. Use your coaches, ask them questions, figure it out. You also need to love your teammates. I know that word seems odd in the situation, but if you love your teammates, you'll do anything for them. You'll push yourself for them. You'll be there to pick them up. You'll do all the great things you need to do to be a great teammate. The next thing is be coachable. It's about 99% of the cases, you don't know more than your coach does. That's just a fact. You probably at some point will think you do. You'll see something during a game that you think you should do, and you'll do that over what you're told to do. The chances are you're probably wrong. So listen to your coaches, be coachable. Respect them, and they will respect you. That's a big key. You don't just walk on the field and get to come over and say anything to a coach. You have to earn their respect, just like they have to earn the respect from you. Take their advice, implement it. If a coach tells you, hey, let's try to doing this, just try to do it. It might not always work, but try to do it. Too often, a kid is told, hey, let's try to do this, or let's change it up and do this, and an athlete does what's comfortable. Sometimes you have to leave your comfort zone, listen to your coaches. If they give you advice, just take it and implement it and see what happens. If it doesn't work, they're probably going to change it up anyway, and they'll probably be willing to say, that didn't work, that's my bad. You also need to ask questions. Be honest with your coaches and ask questions. If you think something's going on, ask your coach. I will give you another story. My senior year of high school in basketball, we were getting ready to play a rival who we just about never beat, and it was Canal Winchester. And all week long, my coach told me that they were going to use me in this game more than they had in any other game. I didn't play a ton. I was sort of the guy off the bench that brought the energy, ran around crazy. That was just my role, and I was fine with that. But they had a kid that they ran all over the place, hit threes. So we were going to play a box and one, which meant I was just going to follow this kid around everywhere. Basically, they were just going to use my speed to just chase this kid everywhere. So that week of practice, I worked so hard. I put everything I could into it. I even had a teammate try to get me to stop because he said I was making him look bad, which was crazy in itself. But I'm just trying to prove that I was working as hard as I could. Game day comes along. I'm super excited. During warm-ups, I'm ready to go. And I knew I wasn't going to start, but I figured at some point I'm coming in. So end of the first quarter comes. There's 0.3 on the clock. And coach tells me to go in. So I go in, and I'm figuring, okay, I'm going in, and then I'll keep playing. Well, I go in. They throw the ball in. The clock ends. Whatever. We come back to the bench, and I'm told that I'm coming back out. So I was kind of like, all right, whatever. Well, let's just fast forward to the end and say that I played those 0.3 seconds and those 0.3 seconds only. At the end of the game, which we won, I was sort of heartbroken, and I was, of course, mad because I didn't understand what happened. But the difference here is I still celebrated with my teammates. I still celebrated with my coaches. I was still happy that we won, even though I was upset. I didn't say anything to anybody that would make them think I was upset. I didn't want to take away from the team and the fact that we had just accomplished something that hadn't been done a lot in our school since I had been around there. So I remember getting in the car, and that's when I finally let loose a little bit and just kind of relaxed and realized that, I didn't understand why it happened, and I needed to talk to coach. So I remember the next day I went in, I asked the coach, hey, what was going on? I'm just curious why I didn't play. And really, if I'd have just thought about it, the answer was there for me if I watched the game, because the guy that started that I was going to take his place had a night that he had a career night, and a night that we don't win the game if he's not in there like that. But the coach also told me that it was the plan to do that, to get me in and to play me and chase that guy around. But as the first quarter progressed and we saw that this other player was playing so well, it really just didn't make sense, and they changed things up. And while I wasn't crazy about that, he was right, and he was honest with me. And that's really all I could have asked as an athlete. And I appreciated the fact that he let me come talk to him and, told me the honest truth. That's what you need to do as an athlete. Instead of reacting, especially during or after a game, let yourself cool off, wait till the next day, and go to your coach and ask. Coaches are going to be honest with you and tell you. Or at least they should be. There's no reason for them not to be. So if you have an issue or you have a question, just go to your coach. Let them explain to you what happened. And if you think that you could have helped, you can offer that to them, and then they can tell you how to better yourself in practice to help them out with that. The next thing is you need to be a leader. If you've done all these other steps, it's very likely that you're going to be a good leader. The keys to being a good leader are help your teammates, encourage your teammates, push your teammates, congratulate your teammates, be honest with your teammates. If you do all those things, you'll be a good leader. You'll be somebody that they look up to, somebody that they listen to, somebody that they want to be around. And those are all qualities of a good leader. Every kid should strive to be a leader of a team. Even if you're a quiet, shy type, you can still be a leader, because you can lead by example when you're on the field or on the court or in the classroom. You can do all those things even if you're shy and not outgoing. You don't have to be a rah-rah person to get people to listen to you. That's just what people think of when they hear the word leader. So if you do all the things that we've talked about, you'll be a great leader. The other thing is you need to be a friend. You need to be a friend to your teammates, because your teammates will very likely be some of your best friends. You're with them all the time. You go through highs and lows with them. You struggle and they pick you up. You do well and they congratulate you. They're people you want to be around. So you need to be a friend to your teammate. If they need something, you need to be there for them. If you can be a good teammate, you'll be a great friend. The last thing is just give it your all. That's all you can do. Every coach will take 100% all the time. If you can go out there and give everything you have, both in the classroom and on the field or the court, you can do great things. And your coach will never be mad at you if you're giving everything you have all the time. So take all these things, use them, be a good student athlete, and good things will happen to you. If you can take these steps and implement them, you're going to be successful, whether it's in the classroom or on the court, field, or both. So take all this stuff, implement it into your life, and good things will happen. All right, guys, come back tomorrow. We'll talk about parents in sports and how they can be good parents with their athlete and with their coaches as well. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow.